Um, are you hopeful that we can bring about pressure and bring about change? And secondly, what, as Marina Mulberg-Smit asks, what can we do to save South Africa from this destructive path?
Thank you. Good questions, and difficult to develop good answers. But I think, yes, I do have some hope, because there was a period when people just seemed a bit stunned, perhaps, and passive, and had accepted that we needed to lock down, and they would do so. But now, as the lockdown continues and it's so clearly not working, I think there is a growing anger. And I think we can't we can't depend rather on Parliament to do an adequate job of holding the executive to account. It's very clearly not doing so. But the fact that the litigation is now developing, I think, is very important, because our Constitution is very clear. What is being done is very clearly in breach of the Constitution, and that there is therefore a good prospect, at least one that's well worth trying, of getting at the end the Constitutional Court to rule on these issues and whether what the government is doing is authorized and legitimate in terms of the Constitution. So I very much applaud the fact that political parties are now going to court. As I said on one of the slides we rather brushed over, I think that each and every unreasonable regulation in itself should be tackled because it's unconstitutional. But the lockdown as a whole, its unconstitutionality must also now be contested through the courts. And the DA and the Freedom Front Plus have picked up the ball in doing that. And I think it's quite canny of them to have used a procedural argument, because it may be easier for the court to rule on a procedural matter than tell the government directly that they think the lockdown was irrational. And so I do have hope. And I think what ordinary people can best do is to keep on raising objections to the unreasonableness of the entire exercise, and yet to keep supporting the organizations that are trying to bring this material to light, trying to provide ammunition for those who are litigating to use. And it's a question of people standing together to really help the challenges against these lockdown regulations to go forward.